Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Lansing Ignite in the halcyon days of 2019. You know, who knew that we would be looking back at 2019 with such fondness and reverence. You remember back in those days when you could just go to the movie theater if you wanted to, or they were allowed to have things like sporting events were allowed to be held. What a magnificent and beautiful time 2019 was. Well, let's go back to those careless days and let's play some soccer. How about that? So today, Lansing Ignite have their first ever game in USL League One. But we're going to get to that in a minute. We got some other things to go over. There have been a few, developments in the past few weeks. First of all, we finished out our preseason, and as you can see here, due to the red and yellow, it was a bit of an up and down preseason. That's not really what's important. What's important is who we played and where we played them. So we played in February. We played several MLS clubs, including our own sort of affiliate club, Chicago. Lost to them 4-0. But look at the attendance. It was pretty decent attendance in February. So we got some good news there. And then to finish up our season in March, we played 3 away games against, some similar to lesser competition. And we got a little bit of paychecks there, just for playing those away games. So that was pretty decent. So February and March were pretty decent financially for the club. And we have more good news on the financial front. We'll go to that. As you can see, our overall balance has increased to $42,000. So we were -9, and now we're positive $42,000. And a lot of that has come from season ticket sales have come in pretty strong, $25,000. I don't know if that's the total or just for March. I'm not sure. But anyway, we got $25,000 there, and then merchandising took a strong leap as well, $22,000. I think last time we checked in, it was not that much. I think it was like $8,000. And then, not a lot of gate receipts because we didn't have a lot of home games here. So, pretty decent. Our finances are looking at least in the positive. Now, partly because of that and partly because of necessity, we had to add a little bit to the payroll. You can see the payroll has gone up to $656,000. So we were at 5 something before. So we added about $100,000 to the payroll. And basically what happened is that in the preseason we got banged up a lot with injuries, and having all these trialists at the club was kind of bad for morale and bad for squad dynamics. So we had to bring some guys in on a permanent type basis. Nobody, no transfers or anything like that. Just sort of brought them in on a free. So sort of not the biggest signee, but the signee who might make the biggest impact here is Steve Saint-Duc, Haitian 19-year-old prospect. Pretty good prospect to be out there with no club. He's 4-star for our level. So he's got decent value, $73,000. The fact that he was out there on a free means we probably won't be able to sell him along, unless something major happens, unless he really has a huge season. But regardless of that, he's a good prospect for us going forward, being only 19 years old and having pretty good abilities. He's decent with the ball at his feet. A little bit of technique, first touch, finishing, dribbling. He's got some speed, got some flair, so he could give us something offensively. Rest of the starting lineup is pretty much the same. We got Cleveland in goal, Stephen Cleveland. One of our better players on the club, so we got him in there. Let's see, we had to replace... Did we? No, we didn't replace Kirk. Kirk is still there. We did bring in a third keeper, Kyle In, 24 years old. Again, not great, but he's a decent enough keeper. 13 reflexes, 13 handling. Is decent enough. Not a tremendous amount of value, but not a tremendous amount of salary either. Some other notables, we brought in Frick, another name that people might recognize. Central defender, 27 years old, so he's a bit of a veteran to come in here and give us, a little bit more veteran ability there. Who else? Pato, Botello Faz, another striker. Sort of beefed up the striker position because what I found is that if some of our guys go cold, we didn't have any options off the bench. So now we do have a little bit of options off the bench with Pato. Good heading, good finishing, decent physicals, good flair. So he's a guy who could score some goals for us. Of course, let's see, who else? Yeah, Tumi Moshobane, winger. Not great, again, but, a little bit of value, a little bit of versatility. He can play left side, right side. So, we just basically beefed up the bench a little bit so that we had enough guys to make it through the season. Because the way that preseason went, I didn't think we'd make it through the season having only 16 guys on the whole roster. So that was that. All right, is there anything else we need to talk about, look about, think about before we get into the league? Dynamics, that's the one thing. So I mentioned that dynamics took a bit of a hit because of all those lone players we had in, and team cohesion is showing that right now. Very poor. Team's collective mental state is disappointing. We didn't have a great preseason, so that could have something to do with it. This will impact the players' positioning during matches. Yeah, it's not so good. Locker room atmosphere is still good, but it's going down a little bit. Leadership support is average. Take a look at that. Who supports us? So not a lot of support happening here. We got Nick Moon and Bruce are the only supporters of us. Everybody else is just sort of whatevs. They don't have any opinion of us either way. Social groups, we got a good central social group here. Few outliers. A lot of our new guys are a little bit outliers here, but for the most part, nice solid central group. So I think we'll be able to pull this group together and we'll be okay. In fact, how about we have a little team meeting? No, it's not suitable. It's the first game of the season. Why can't we hold a team meeting? What's the deal? Anyway, maybe I already held it. I don't think so, but you never know. Let's see. Anything else? Anything else of note? Oh, yeah. Staff. We do have some staff members now. Look at that. We got 4 whole staff members, including our assistant coach, Nate Miller, 32 years old. Pretty sort of average-looking coach here. 6s. It's for this level, he's okay. I think he's got a lot of potential. In the real world, he's the actual coach, or he was the actual coach. Brought him on as the assistant manager just to sort of keep that continuity. I'm sure he'll want to move on to bigger and better things in the future, but for now, he's going to be our assistant coach. That's fine. Then we also have fitness coach here, Presley Akobia, 8 fitness. He's got some determination. Again, for this level, he's good enough. And then finally, Dan Popik, our goalkeeper coach. Look at that. Distribution, 14. That's pretty good to get a guy like this. He's 40 years old. Lots of discipline, adaptability. He's not the greatest motivator in the world. But for this level, he's a fine coach. Good working with youngsters. No problems. We're trying to keep the staff as small as we can without it being a hindrance. We could use another couple of coaches. They keep wanting us to add head of youth development, but we don't have a youth system. So we'll maybe wait a couple years before that. Same with no general manager, no chief data. All we have is a chief scout right now, which that's fine, honestly. And we just hired a physio to go along with our head physio, Mike Boselli, 10 physiotherapy. He's wonderful, terrific, fine, and dandy. All right, let's get to the league that we're in. USL League One. Mentioned this before. It is, it's a league 2 steps down from MLS. So, we're not that far away, honestly. But you look at the size of the cities that we're looking at, for the most part, what USL did when they wanted to rebuild the league, or actually build the league from scratch, they went around to all the different states and they looked for cities for a certain size of city that didn't have much in the way of professional teams, certainly that didn't have professional soccer teams. So we got a lot of like smaller size capital cities, somewhere around the 150 to 300,000 in terms of population. So we got, Lansing, Madison, Chattanooga, Richmond, some pretty decent sized cities. And then to sort of round it out, they got some B teams from MLS in terms of Toronto and Orlando City. So, it's a decent league in terms of the cities that are in it. A lot of these cities, you don't see them a lot on the big stage in terms of sports, unless it's college sports, right? So for these cities to now have professional sports, it should be a big deal to them, and there should be some support there. Rules of the league. This could be important. It could not be. Who knows? So obviously 3 points for a win, 1 for a draw. 7 named subs, maximum of 3 used. So no surprises there. You got the top 4 teams make it into the championship playoffs. So that's wonderful. Anything else going on? Structure. Don't really know what this means. You got Division 1 soccer down here, and then we move up to USL League 1 or the Independent Soccer Association. You have no idea what this chart means, but it's some sort of diamond-shaped situation. All right. I know. Let's do what we like to do. Take a look at the season preview. We do this for MLS all the time. And looky here. Lansing, 4th place prediction. That's okay. We'll take that. 6-1 odds. Interesting. We're a brand new club. Also at the top is Madison, our opponent for today, and another brand new club is up there with 3-1 odds. So that's interesting. Orlando City, Toronto, of course, down at the bottom, Tormenta FC. So we're pretty unfamiliar with most of these teams, because a lot of these teams, this is their first season in existence, much like ours. So we'll probably, take some time and look at some of these teams as we go. In terms of players, Jimmy Maurer selected to be the Dream 11 goalkeeper. We got Nelson from North Texas. Connor Shanoski from Richmond. I've heard that name before. I think he played for Cincinnati, something like that. Lillard, there's our player, our loanee right there, center back. Stephen Beattie from Chattanooga, Irishman, right back. Tabusa Endo, Japanese. That's interesting to have a Japanese player all the way over here in USL League 1, but he's coming from Toronto FC too, so he's probably one of their prospects. Poplawski for Orlando City B. Brendan Cervinia, 20-year-old from North Texas. So North Texas has some good amount of players on this list. Lewis, interesting, Nathan Lewis from Trinidad and Tobago for Lansing. We haven't looked at him in too much depth, but I guess we'll have to now. Connor Doyle from Chattanooga. And Mason Teye, 20-year-old forward from Madison. So there's the key players to look at. So we are playing Madison today, so we better be on the lookout for Mason Teye. I guess we should probably look at our own player here, Nathan Lewis. Interesting that they put him in their Dream 11. I mean, he's pretty good. 4 stars, 10 pros, 2 cons, nice dribbling pace. He's pretty good. So I guess I can see why. Value is only $250K, so maybe this will give him a little bit of a bonus in that area. Anyway, I think that's it. I think we should get to the match and see what we're doing. Lansing versus Madison, League 1 kickoff at Cooley Law School Stadium in Lansing, Michigan. 2,026 tickets sold. That's not a good start. That's not good for the first home game ever. You'd expect closer to a sellout to the first home game ever. But, we're going to have to prove it. We have to prove ourselves to Lansing, I suppose. So we are 6-4 favorites, even though they're predicted first in the league. That's interesting. We got our new kits, courtesy of Uncle Sam FM. Gave us our real laugh cue kits. So that's cool. Posing head coach Daryl Shore, 49 years old. Head coach and technical director. Dual citizenship for this guy. He's pretty decent. Attacking, defending, working with youngsters. He's a great goalkeeper coach. Hope this guy is working on their goalkeepers, because look at that. 14s all up and down the board. That's pretty good for this level. Very disciplined. Good judge at player ability. It's not bad. It's not a bad coach for sure. Let's take a look at Madison. So I looked these guys up a little bit. This is their first season in existence. The first pro soccer club in the whole state of Wisconsin in like a long time. 15 years, I think, was the last time they had a professional soccer team. And now it's moved to their capital city of Madison. They're looking forward to having a good season, good club. That's why they're Forward Madison. Cool pink jerseys. I don't know. Sponsored, of course, by Dairyland. You're from Wisconsin. You got to be sponsored by some kind of dairy product, I suppose. Nickname is the Pink Flamingos, obviously from their logo. It's not like the Fighting Flamingos or even. It's just the Pink Flamingos. I don't know why. I don't know who chose that. There's probably a whole story behind how they got to be named the Pink Flamingos in Madison, Wisconsin. But we're not going to go into that right now. Key employees, of course, the head coach. Hot prospect is Zaire Bartley. Mason Toye is their key player. Captains, Connor Tobin, Jamal Fox. Okay, we'll keep an eye out for all those guys. I assume their club background is pretty much the same as ours, right? Professional American club, playing in League One, yada, yada, yada. They play at Breeze Stevens Field. This is their first season. They have no history. Okay, we're on equal footing right there. Anything else we need from this match preview? It is 48 degrees and gusty in March. That's probably pretty accurate. I would approve of that. Okay, so let's see. Our starting lineup, we got Cleveland in goal. Well, let's not do that here. Let's just submit the team. Hollingsworth, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So, it's going to be an interesting time for our first game. We got to get off to a big start at home. Not a banner crowd, a little bit cold, a little bit windy. People aren't exactly ready for soccer in March, I suppose. But let's go. So, we do have Cleveland in goal. Lillard, Stoneman, and Quafic in the defense. Serta, our key man, at defensive midfielder. Hollingsworth on the left. Rafa on the right. Gomez and Perez in the middle. St. Duke and Bruce up top. They have, here we go. Dane St. Clair making his debut. This guy is a hot Canadian prospect, so we'll have to keep our eye on him. Schneider, Bonilla, there's Tobin, one of their captains. Almsberg, Michaud Leonard, Smart Cox, Paulo Jr. making his debut. He sounds like a Brazilian some sort. He is a Brazilian of some sort. He's okay, very determined. Off the ball, okay. 30 years old, so he's a veteran type for them. And then, of course, Mason Toye up front making his debut. Why is this guy so special? He's got 2 under-20 caps for the U.S. national. I knew I heard this name before. That's probably where I've heard it. He's a hot American prospect, or at least he was at some point. He was a hot American prospect. Now playing in USL League One, maybe not so much, but we don't know a lot about him. He is big, 6'3". got nice pace, strength, jumping reach. So physicality, we're going to have to keep an eye on. All right. Let us go. Let's get to the dressing room. Let's give our first real pep talk of the season. Let's be passionate. Give the fans something to cheer for. Okay, they didn't really care about that. And the team talk. Miller's feedback? Okay. Nothing for tactics, nothing at this time. Serta has a problem communicating with other players because of the language barrier. Okay, can we send Serta on a language course? We'll try that after the game. So here we go. Cooley Law School Stadium, not quite an accurate representation. But, it's nice and orange, so I guess that's good. We are in the orange uniforms. Madison in the blue. Quafic with the first clearance of the night. Boots it into the crowd. All right. Let's settle in. I know it's opening day, but let's settle in and let's, not let them score an early goal. There's Lillard to Perez. Can we move it forward? St. Duke drops back. Okay. Can we start something? Get it out wide to Rafa. That's where we want the ball. Look at him go. Down the far sideline. Can he get past his man? He cannot. Big diving tackle from Smart. Okay. Here we go. We seem to be getting the most highlights here. Lillard with the throw in. Straight to Bruce, who boots it all the way to midfield, and we're going to have to start things over. Quafic to Stoneman. Stoneman is really sort of the heart of our defense. We'll see what he can do with it. Gets it forward to St. Duke. Perez is going to gather it in. Another slide tackle. These guys are getting stuck in, as they say. Paulo Jr., the veteran, turns it over to Gomez. Gomez has some options going forward. He gets it to Bruce. Bruce with the shot. And the goal. Not offsides. Flagman with his flag down. Here we go. Alex Bruce with the first goal of the season for Lansing Ignite. Moving up to 4th place in the division with the swift right foot. Moves us up to 4th place. Look at that. Great shot across the face of the keeper. Keeper's going the wrong way. No way he could get back to that. And we'll look at our goal line here. Yeah, well onside. Well onside. So there we go. That's the start we wanted. Early start. Now here's Madison looking to even it up a little bit. Leonard. Defense is packed in. Oh, they let Paulo Jr. get loose, and he knocks one off the side of the goal. Okay. Let's see if we can watch Jr. a little bit more tightly. Okay, he just wants us to... I clicked on the Ask Assistant Coach, and he just wants us to watch Jamel Cox. But we're not here for that. We're here for watching everybody. Just tightly mark everybody. Yeah. Okay, all their forwards are going to get tightly marked. We'll see if we can handle that. If they don't, as long as they don't play with too wide of a position, we should be okay. Carlos Schneider should be marked. Okay, it's fine. We'll do that. Here we go. Cleveland boots one out wide. Not a great kick. Kicking is not his strength. I'm gonna tell you that in advance with Cleveland. So honestly, maybe we should have him rolling the ball out, and we should play a little bit more of a possession style than have him boot it. Because in the preseason, he caused a couple of odd man rushes with bad goal kicks. Because basically, he can get it to midfield and not a lot farther. Okay, here we go. Madison settles it down at midfield. They're looking to create an attack. Leonard gets it out wide to Smart, but Rafa comes back. Intercepts, but a turnover to Teye. Not where we want the ball. Good defense by, I believe that's Quafic. Okay, Madison with more highlights here. 26 minutes down. Cross goes into Smart. Header into the crowd. Okay, we'll take it. Not great, but we'll take it. 28 minutes. Here we go. So we're looking, fairly even. Possession, even. Number of shots, mostly even. Madison is starting to put some pressure on. They're getting all the highlights. Another cross goes in. Another header into the crowd. I don't like that they're getting these headers. It's like they're sending them wide, and that's fine. But the fact that they're getting the opportunities is a little disturbing here. Okay, managed to run out the rest of the half. And there we go. 1-0. Lansing over Madison. We're looking good. Tactically, so this is our number one tactic. It's just a balanced tactic. 3-5-2. Sort of a counterattack type thing. Our other tactics we've got the 4-2-4 attacking, in case we need it. And then we have the 3-4-3 also attacking in case we need it. So bit of a problem there. We need a little bit more diversity with our lineups here. So this is really our only hope in terms of a more balanced. We can take off the direct passing. We can slow down the tempo. We can play out of defense. It's always good to change everything. Should we throw it? He's not good at kicking. We'll try rolling it out first. We don't. Yeah, we'll let him choose at first. Maybe we should try distributing to the playmaker. We do have an advanced playmaker, but we would like to get the ball, Perez. So maybe we can try throwing it long to Perez. That sounds dumb enough to work. All right. Dressing room. Pep talk. Pleased with how things are going. Keep it up. Let's go. Everybody likes that. Everybody likes the pleased with how it's going. Okay. 1-0 at home. There we are on the sideline. The tracksuit coach with our orange and blue colors on. Oh, Gomez gets it out wide to Rafa. Ends the highlight right there. So how are we looking here? Rafa he's a little frustrated. 6.3. Same with Perez. So our two best players, at least our best players with the ball, are not doing so good. Must close down on Paulo Jr. I mean, I've been trying to tell you that. I invented that, so you should listen to me. But I'll take your advice as if it were my own. All right, Serta sends it downfield. St. Duke seems to be a good outlet. We got him playing deep line playmaker, even though that's not really his forte. But there he goes. He uses that speed to get the ball to Rafa. Rafa sends the ball wide. So St. Duke is more of an advanced forward type, but we've got Bruce doing the advanced forward thing. So we drop St. Duke back to deep line playmaker. And he seems to be doing an okay job. He's got 10 passing. I guess that's okay. Here we go. Rolling it out. Okay. Madison's putting a little bit of pressure, and Lillard just boots it. But he gets it to Bruce and then to Rafa. This is fine. Rafa's double covered right now. He sends in the cross. Bounces it straight off Perez's neck. Okay. Hollingsworth has a yellow. We might sub Hollingsworth out. Serta to Gomez. Back to Serta. Great pass to St. Duke. Bruce gets it out to Rafa. Rafa on the run. Behind the defense. Can't slip it past the defense, and then he knocks it out himself. What are you doing? Might have to sub out Rafa. Let's make a sub here. So Hollingsworth. None of these guys are playing well. None of our midfielders are playing particularly well except for Gomez. So we could substitute any of them we want. So let's bring in Lewis for Hollingsworth. We might as well. He's the guy who's supposedly in the best 11, so we should probably start playing him a little more. We played him a lot in the preseason because Hollingsworth was injured. It's one of the reasons why we went out and got him in the first place. So there we go. All right, made our first sub at 63 minutes. Lillard with the throw into Perez. Throw-ins are going to be a little bit difficult with having only 3 center backs, no fullbacks, because usually I like to have my fullbacks make the throw-in. So now we're going to have to focus more on like having our wingers do the throw-ins. That would be more acceptable than our central defenders, I think, in most cases. All right, so Madison's putting a little bit of pressure on us. We're playing out with a little bit of poise, but a turnover at midfield, trying to get it downfield, but then they turn it right back over. Welcome to Division 3 soccer, ladies and gentlemen. Going to have some mess-ups. We got a lot of highlights in this sub 65th minute. Bruce is going to win the header, but he sends it straight to Madison. Madison moving it across midfield, looking to build some kind of attack. Paolo Jr. goes right around our new left winger, Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth, what are you doing in there? What are you still doing in the game? What's happening? All right, we're now at the 87th minute. I think I messed up by hitting some kind of highlight button. Okay. Yeah, so we were looking at some kind of old highlights for some reason. All right, here we go. 87 minutes. Don't know what's happening now. All right. Good defense at midfield. Quafic to Perez. We're trying to build an attack, getting it forward. Bruce can't win the header. And Madison moves to counterattack. Another turnover. Madison's midfielders are just turning it over like crazy. St. Duke behind the defense. This goalkeeper is playing well. Their coach has coached him up well. I mean, he's the reason they're only 1 goal down. He's stopped a couple of point-blank shots, but they're midfielders. Man, they keep turning the ball over, and it's really killing Madison right now. But we're fine with that. We'll keep it up. Stoneman sends it in. St. Duke can't get ahead on it. Bruce is going to have to chase it down. 89 minutes, 3 minutes of stoppage time coming up. Rafa gets it on the right wing. His cross deflected. We're going to get a throw in, be able to waste a little more time. We're closing in on our first win of the season. Let's not jinx it, but, things are looking good. Lillard taking a sweet time with the throw-in. Gets it to Rafa. Rafa loses it to Smart, who booms it downfield. Madison getting forward. Oh, Quafic cleans it up. Rafa's looking exhausted out there. Probably should have subbed him out at some point, but it's only a minute and a half left. There's no point. Rafa gets these double covered. Going to get a corner out of this. Another chance to waste some more time. A minute left in extra time. Stoneman taking the corner, which I don't know why he is. That seems very odd. We'll have to look into that. I thought I set these up, but apparently not. Quafic, our central defenders are well far forward. Rafa loses it again. 30 seconds to go. Come on, boys. Let's close it out. No problems. Lillard now with the throw-in. So our central defenders are doing a lot of throw-ins, which I'm not incredibly happy about. But, they do have the awareness to take their time. Bruce gets it back to Lillard. Forward to Gomez. Bruce looked a little offside there, but it doesn't matter because there's the final whistle. And Lansing Ignite have won. There's the final whistle. Lansing Ignite have won their first ever match. 1-0. Outstanding. 56% possession, so we boosted the possession there in the second half by taking it a little slow, not booming it downfield. So that part of it worked. We ended up with only 8 shots the whole game, so sort of you give a little to take a little, right? We took a lot of possession, but we had to give away a lot of opportunities. So we got a little disconnect going on between our midfield and our strikers. So we're going to have to either work on that or just live with it because it worked, apparently. We got a 1-0 victory, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So there we go. Best performances. Gomez, 90% of his passes, 7.5 rating. Bruce with 7.2 rating and the goal. There's our 2 stars for the night. Maybe the 3rd star is Cleveland for getting the shutout. That's okay. That's okay. All right. Not bad. Not a bad start to the season. We're in playoff position, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. 4th place after 1 game. There's still 4 winless teams, 2 draws. Okay, that adds up. 4 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw. It adds up. 2 draws. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're not going to do a press conference, obviously. Do we have anything left? I mean, I guess we got the schedule left. We got Tucson coming up away at Keno Sports Complex. So that's going to be something for sure. Attendance, again, 2,030. That's low, very low. That's half of what we need, half of what we want, and still below average as well. So not a good start to the season, but we got a long season, long ways to go. We do have positive finances, so that's good. So, I guess we'll come back next game against Tucson. Maybe we'll check out the Tucson Stadium, see where they play, all that stuff. Until then, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.